guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So with the roster being confirmed for WWE 2K18, now we look ahead towards the DLC. We look at who wasn't involved and announced for the roster for the main game, and who could still be involved in the game as far as DLC does go. One big name that a lot of people were upset about are the Hardy Boys. But listen, hear me out on why I think it's a good idea to put the Hardys in the DLC. So the Hardys came back to the WWE at WrestleMania, and if they really wanted to, they could have squeezed them in. But I think you wait, you hold off, you use the Hardys to actually sell the DLC in the season pass. If there are guys in the DLC that are just like, wow, I really want them in my game, I'll pay anything to have them, the Hardys are those guys. The Hardys are those guys that you can, like I said, use to make people buy your DLC. And that's what you have to do. You can't just put out DLC saying, hey, you're going to get some extra guys. Whether you like these guys or not, this is what you're getting. Because in the past, the DLC's been a little lackluster. I mean, last year, the big names for DLC was like Ty Dillinger, Austin Aries, Eddie Guerrero. So, I mean, this year, you hold off the Hardy Boys, you're at least going to sell that pack. Now, as far as names that weren't announced for NXT, you do have the current NXT champion, Drew McIntyre. Okay, he came back around Mania time as well. You can see him in the DLC. But then two other names, Aleister Black and Andrade Cien Almas, those are guys that they've been around for a little while now. So holding them off for DLC, I guess if you want to sell a DLC pack for NXT, holding off at least Aleister Black is a good idea that way as well if that's your marketing strategy. Here's a guy that everybody wanted in the game. Unfortunately, he didn't make the cut for the first roster, but you can get him in DLC, pick up the DLC. So I think with that, there are guys that they're holding off on putting in the game because they know it will help them sell the DLC. Some of the other names that weren't announced but could still be in DLC are guys like James Ellsworth, Lana, who I assume is just going to be a manager, and that's why we haven't heard her name. And then there's some guys from 205 Live like Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, Aria Daivari, Lindsay Dorado, and a few others. The UK wrestlers. It had been confirmed a few months ago that Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, and Pete Dunne have all been scanned for WWE 2K18. Now, I know people have been scanned before, like 2 years ago Sasha was scanned, she didn't get used. Last year Billie Kay was scanned, she didn't get used. But I think we can possibly be getting a UK pack with at least these three guys. At least these three guys. Maybe you can add somebody like a William Regal because he's from the UK, and maybe get one other legend and you have a UK pack. That would be a good idea as well, because those are three guys that are really hot, especially on the indie scene in pro wrestling right now, here in the United States and overseas, so I think that could be another good pack. As far as like a Hall of Fame showcase goes with guys that went into the Hall of Fame this year, we haven't heard anything on if they are or are not going to do that, so that's kind of up in the air as well. So let me know what you guys think of these possible names for the DLC of WWE 2K18. Who would you like to see added in for DLC? And who are you just like, they weren't in the main game, I don't really care. I know a lot of people are like that with Elias Sampson. So let me know your thoughts on possible names for DLC in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this edition of Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember to comment below, like and share this video, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, subscribe here on YouTube, and follow PWUnlimited.net for the latest in pro wrestling news.